The album closes up with Tyler kind of talking with his therapist and concluding that overall he's a good kid, but he's kind of misled. And I believe that to be true. But if I'm to use the music on this thing as a guide, I'm not really worried about him eventually finding his way. Right now I'm feeling a strong 7, a very strong 7 to a light 8 on this album. With more consistency, I'm really excited to see where Tyler the Creator and Odd Future are going in this Odd Future. From front to back, I did not enjoy Goblin. There are some great tracks I pull out of it, but, you know, kind of a strong 4 to a light 5 on this album. But hey, don't get upset, don't get mad, because you know what? We got one of the best music videos of 2011 out of all this. Tyler is clearly not interested, at least at this point anyway, in improving his technical abilities as a rapper, because a lot of his flows on some of these tracks can be kind of awkward, despite the fact that they may be heartfelt and very emotive. The instrumentals are a definite improvement. The feature list is pretty impressive, and getting people like Erykah Badu and even Letitia Sater on your album is... I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this thing. I think Cherry Bomb is kind of Tyler taking the sandcastle that he's built over the course of his past 2 albums and then just angrily smashing it into just a pile, which is a very Tyler the Creator thing to do. There are moments on this LP that make for some of the most refined instrumentals that Tyler has ever been on, and then conversely, just because of the bad mixing and the bad production, there are some instrumentals here that are some of the worst that have ever been on a Tyler the Creator album. So while I don't really care for this LP, I do have to give it to Tyler for being one of the few artists out there bold enough to simultaneously disappoint and impress so consistently. I'm feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this album. Tran? I think this album is Tyler's best effort to date. It's a very tight 47 minutes. It's his best produced album, his best written and conceived album, his best performed and rapped album. And I loved a great deal of the tracks on this thing. I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this record. Trans. Overall, I think Igor is a fantastic album and is easily one of the best breakup albums of the decade, which is no small feat considering that we're literally right toward the end of this decade. I'm feeling a decent to a strong 9 on this thing. Tran. So much of this thing hinges on Tyler's personal success narrative, his personality, his character, his likability, and in that regard, he as an individual is still far from perfect, but my God, he has improved leaps and bounds beyond where he was at the Goblin stage for sure. The way Tyler produces, writes, raps, and dissects and describes his world is just so much better than it used to be, and I think even he is well aware of that. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this one. Tran. I think with this record, you can genuinely put another one on the board for Tyler, who continues to be such a refreshing contrast from a lot of everything else in the mainstream. Even if CHROMAKOPIA isn't Tyler's best, it's still a cut above the rest, which is why I'm feeling a light 8 on this album. Tran.